Hi, welcome to therapy. Today we're upgrading our Well MB03 or creating our own VSR-10. So let's get started. So today we're upgrading the bucking and inner barrel. So first what you're going to do is take your well. What we're going to do is take off the stock, take off the inner barrel, access the hop unit and change everything out, put it back together and be ready to go for the field. Okay, let's get into it. So I am going to be using the tools that came in with the box. I feel like some people are never sure of, are you able to take the gun apart with the stuff that comes in the box? Well, we're here to find out. So let's see. I do have some tools with me just in case, but I don't think we're going to need them. Anyway, let's get started. So first things first, take off the magazine. Okay, here we go. Put it aside. Next up, we want to take the stock off. So we're going to take the larger Allen key that came in the box and we're going to take it off. So next up, what you're going to do is remove the outer barrel and receiver from the stock. Once you've done that, place that part down. Stock you can set aside. You don't need that for now. Next, what you're going to take off is the outer barrel from the receiver. I'm going to be using the Phillips head screwdriver that came in the box. It's going to be right down here. What you're going to do, what you're going to unscrew. And be sure to be careful. There's small screws, so you don't want to lose them. Keep a small jar with you just in case, so you don't lose the screws. I don't do that because I don't want to. Anyway, next up, you're going to take the smaller Allen key and unscrew the top end. Okay. Next up, you're going to unscrew the outer barrel from the receiver. There we go. Set this aside. Okay, next up, we're going to take the block off. I call it usually the mag block. It's probably called something different. I don't know what it is. I'll look it up later and I'll let you guys know. So you're going to take the spring. You're going to set it aside. You do need it later, so don't lose it. Okay, next up, you're going to take the small Phillips head screwdriver and take off the screws. So they're located one there and one right there. Okay, you're going to take it off, unscrew it first, then take it off. Now, generally what I like doing is keeping the screws together with the part just so I don't lose the screws, and then I know which screws go where. Okay, that's one. And that's two, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. So you have it like this. Okay, you can set that aside. Okay, next up, there is the hop adjustment arm. Okay, right there, that if you move up and down, you can adjust your hop, and then you can hop your BBs better, worse, up to you. So you're gonna unscrew it, which is right there. Gonna unscrew that, and again, I like to keep the screws together with the part just so I don't mix anything up or lose it. Okay, quickly put it together like that. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Now we can take out the hop unit. Okay, should be like this here. The outer barrel you can reuse if you have the same length, or if you're not upgrading the outer barrel. I am, so I'm not going to be using that anymore. Okay, next up we're going to unscrew the hop unit to access the bucking and inner barrel. Now there are 4 screws which you're going to have to unscrew. One here and on the other side, and then there's going to be one here, I believe. No, other side. So one here and one in there. So I am going to be using again the Phillips head screwdriver. Let's see if that works. Let's get the top. Now be careful, there's a spring in there for a BB catch. I call it the BB catch, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I could be wrong. If I am, please correct me in the comments. Okay, so now this is the higher, or one half of the hop unit itself. I keep all the screws together. I'm not sure if you could see that, but I do keep everything together just again so I don't lose it. Okay, right away there's this part here that helps adjust it. The hop, I mean. Don't lose this. There is a small little, I believe it's copper or something else, maybe brass. I don't know, but there's a small little pin there. Well, let's see if you see it. There we go. That does jump around, so be careful that you don't lose that. Okay, next up, just precaution, here is the BB catch. Again, I don't know what it's called, so correct me if I'm wrong. Now, the spring, carefully don't lose it. And then when you put it back together, be careful that you don't mangle it. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but I did mangle up my spring a little bit when I rebuilt it before. So don't do that, okay? Be careful. So let's keep it together. Awesome. All right, next up, here is the old or stock bucking and inner barrel. Now there is a small little O-ring which you need to keep, so take that out and don't lose it. There we go. You can take this, set it aside, don't need that anymore. Now for the upgrade, I am using a 300 millimeter inner barrel with a 70 degree bucking. Now there are different degrees of bucking. The lower, so like 50 degrees for example, it's a much thicker bucking, which means it's not prone to tear as easily. But from what I've observed before, you're not able to hop up your heavier BBs. So the higher up of the degree, so it's an 85 degree, it's thinner, you can hop your higher BBs, but it's more prone to being torn up. So just so you know. So I am using a 70 degree bucking. It's a nice even between, and apparently from what I've read, it's the most popular. So that's what I'm using. So putting it back together, well, first you're going to take your O-ring and you're going to put it over the inner barrel. Now it's important that you have this on, and I'll explain to you why in a little bit. Okay, perfect. And this does not go into the actual unit itself. It's more for the adjustment arms. Well, before we actually put it in the bucking and inner barrel, before we do that, I want you to take Teflon tape if you would like. You don't have to, but Teflon tape, and I usually put it around the inner barrel and bucking just so there's a better air seal. Quickly do that. One, and there we go. Perfect. Just like that. There we go. Now there are little grooves in the hop or in the inner barrel which you have to line up with the hop up, otherwise it won't close properly. So just fiddle around with it and see if you can get it in. But remember, this O-ring has to go now inside of those arms. So let's start with the upper half. So now there is a little window which you could see like right around there. Let's see if I can show you from the other side. It's like right in the middle there, right? So that, where that goes in, or what goes in there, is that little lip right here on top, that little fin. Put that in there. That way it lines up properly and your hop can now hop properly as well. So let's see if we can get that in there. Perfect. Just like that. Okay, so I got the hop back together. Now I'm just going to re-screw everything in. Perfect. Okay, now we can assemble it again. So now I do have the upgraded outer barrel, or changeable outer barrel. It is shorter. It's meant for the 300 millimeter inner barrels, so just so you know. Okay, you just slide that in. Okay, just that. Make sure this lines up properly. Perfect. So that's in. So once it's in, now you can put in the hop adjustment arm. This part right here. Okay, the screw, if you did keep it together, the screw should be there. Okay, once that's in, now you can take your block and you can put it back on. There's one, good. And Phillips head again. Okay, we'll check. Yep, hop unit still hops. Like movable, I mean, it's pretty good. Okay, awesome. Okay, now what you can do, take this small spring put it back in. I like to push it until I hear a click, because then I know it's stable and it won't come out. There we go. There we go. Now you can take your upper receiver and screw it on. Now make sure that the holes line up, because the screws have to go all the way in. More fine tuning, good. Perfect. All right, now we can put the stock back on. Okay. Perfect, just like that. Awesome. Now we can screw on the screws that go in place to keep the stock onto the receiver. You can use a larger Allen key now. Okay, double check. Perfect. So now, if you have it available to you, you can add on a suppressor adapter or silencer adapter. So now I have the Maple Leaf version. This way right now, the way it's set up is as if I don't want a suppressor on it. I actually do have a suppressor. So you flip it around. Now you can add a suppressor. This did come with 2 O-rings, which you have to put on either ends. It's a little bit difficult to do, so if you have it, try it yourself. I'm not going to be doing it on camera. So at the end, unscrew the end itself. Now you can take this, put it aside, don't need that anymore. Take this and put it in the end. So the threads, the smaller 14mm threads, facing outward, because you want to put a suppressor on it. Okay, grab your suppressor, and it is a negative or a counterclockwise threaded adapter, so counterclockwise suppressors fit on it. Perfect. Here we go. Perfect. Grab the magazine, put it back in, and there we go. So now you might be wondering why I'm not doing an air check. Well, because for some reason, if I try it with this, it won't work. And I checked the cylinder, and I'm pretty sure there is an air leak, which I cannot fix. I don't know, I have to fine tune it still. I still have to play with it. So that's it to upgrade the bucking and inner barrel. I will be doing another video about upgrading the hop unit itself. You might be wondering why I'm not doing it now. Well, it's because I want to be more educational. I want you guys to learn a little bit more about what each individual part does. I probably didn't say anything about the inner barrel itself. It matters for accuracy and probably FPS. In terms of length, I know if you're having it too long, let's say a 550mm inner barrel, the accuracy and the FPS lowers down big time. I have an Aries Striker with that in there, and I know for a fact that it definitely drops. So there is a fine line of a perfect inner barrel that gives you the perfect FPS and accuracy. So again, I took a 300mm one. So far from what I've noticed, it was way better than stock. So that's what I have. Also, I did want to have test footage for you, but unfortunately it's a little bit too cold right now in Canada to play, or at least where I live. So unfortunately I couldn't get footage for you to see or show you the difference between the stock and the upgrade with the bucking, unfortunately. But hopefully when it warms up a little bit more, I can do a gameplay and it shows you the difference. In my eyes, from what I've observed, there is a big difference. It's way more accurate. In that case, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment, tell me your thoughts, give me your feedback. I'm open to it. It's always welcome. And I'll see you guys in the field. Have fun airsofting.